Welcome back, my people. I'm Nicolette Amarillas, an exercise coach and a posture and movement specialist. Today we're going over a hamstring and glute accessory exercise, the standing hip extension. Now this exercise, like I said, is an accessory movement, so it complements movements like your hamstring curls or your RDLs or your deadlifts. This movement's great to add in toward the end of a workout because it's an accessory exercise. It supports all of those bigger movements. We'll be going in depth with the form and the technique for this standing variation. I'll be using tonal, but you're welcome to use a regular cable machine as well. Let's go. Now this movement is a hamstring dominant movement. There's also a similar movement called a standing kickback, which I'll link in this video, which has more knee flexion. That knee flexion in conjunction with the hip flexion creates more glute engagement. Because with this movement, we're actually working with a straight leg, this is more of a hamstring dominant accessory exercise. Hamstring being the back of the thigh. So let's get into it. If you're using a regular cable machine, just make sure to attach your ankle strap to the front with the hardware here. If you're using tonal, the only extra thing you need is that carabiner and the T-lock locked in. Now for this standing variation, we're going to use the sides of tonal. So make sure you're not holding onto the arm of tonal, but you're actually holding onto the side of tonal for stability and support. I like to take a small step back away from the end of the anchor point wherever your cable is coming from. And I like to soften the knee of the leg that we're standing on. This standing leg is going to work almost as much as the working leg because it has to stabilize your body weight. So soften that knee, don't lock the knee. Soften the knee, and a little hip flexion is gonna help you create more glute engagement, which is never a bad thing, right? Right. Hands come in front of you. Arms are straight, shoulders are down. There's no need to be parallel with the floor. You can be up slightly, really coming up as high as you need to in order to be able to keep your legs straight. Everyone's gonna be a little bit different based on the relationship of your hamstring tightness and the strength of your low back. So from here, leg is straight. I like to bring the toes up towards the shins and soften the leg that's on the floor. From here, we will pull the heel up to the ceiling, kicking back, making sure to not let the hip externally rotate, but keep the toes pointed toward the floor the whole time. Now, naturally, my leg wants to do this, and you can do that. If you externally rotate, you're gonna feel more glutes through the outer part of the glute, which is okay. So we have a couple variations. We have toes down, and then you can have toes slightly out. But even when you come out, make sure your hip is not externally rotating, but you're actually keeping the hips parallel to the floor. Now, as I come back, regardless of way the toe is turned, keep the knee on the floor bent, and then make sure you're not kicking up so high that you come into extension. Extension means arching of the back. I want you to stay drawn in, so tuck in the hips, find the core, find the glute, and then kick back. Now that might limit your range of motion, and that is completely fine. I'd rather you not go up as high and get more hamstring and glute engagement than go too high and work the low back. Now the leg that's standing is feeling a ton of work in addition to the leg that's kicking back. Woo! This is a great alternative to a movement that you could do in the gym called a reverse hyper. On tonal, we can't do a reverse hyper. Reverse hyper, you're usually on a machine and both legs kick back. Since we can't do that here, we can use this variation instead. So this is a variation I love to use, like I said, at the end of workouts when I want to accessorize my other glute workouts like split squats and deadlifts and RDL. Please try it out. Let me know how it goes, and I hope to see you soon.